a continent lying alone in the vast ocean. Imagine a place where it is winter in one part of the world while it is summer here. A land that is home to some of the most livable cities on Earth, yet most of its territory is made up of harsh, empty deserts. It is also famous for unique animals unlike anywhere else: kangaroos that hop on powerful legs, koalas that spend most of their time hugging trees and sleeping, and the strange platypus that lays eggs yet feeds its young with milk. Today, we will explore the enormous and sometimes slightly strange wonders of the Australian continent, from the stunning coral reefs and tens of thousands-year-old indigenous culture to the modern lifestyles of cities like Sydney and Melbourne. Let's begin. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you won't miss more fascinating knowledge. First, let's look at where Australia is located. Australia is a unique continent entirely in the southern hemisphere, surrounded by the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. It is the sixth largest country in the world, covering nearly 7.7 million square kilometers. Truly enormous. Although it is a continent, Australia is sometimes called the world's largest island. The capital of Australia is not Sydney or Melbourne, as many people mistakenly think, but Canberra, a specially planned city located between the two major cities. However, the largest and most famous city is Sydney, known for the iconic shell-shaped Sydney Opera House and the magnificent Sydney Harbour Bridge. Melbourne, on the other hand, is often called the cultural, sporting, and culinary capital of Australia and has repeatedly ranked among the most livable cities in the world. Australia's population today is just over 26 million people, relatively small compared to its vast size. Most people live along the eastern and southeastern coastal areas. The Australian flag has a blue background with the Union Jack in the upper left corner, representing the country's historical connection to the United Kingdom. Below it is a large seven-pointed star called the Commonwealth Star, symbolizing the 6 original states and the territories of Australia. On the right side is the Southern Cross constellation, a prominent star pattern visible in the southern hemisphere sky. The name Australia comes from the Latin phrase terra australis incognita, meaning unknown southern land. European explorers used this term to refer to a hypothetical southern continent. The British explorer Matthew Flinders helped popularize the name Australia in the early 19th century. When talking about Australia, we must talk about nature, a natural world that is incredibly diverse, unique, and sometimes unbelievably harsh. Because Australia was separated from other continents millions of years ago, its plants and animals evolved in their own distinct ways, creating species that cannot be found anywhere else. One of the most famous natural wonders is the Great Barrier Reef off the coast of Queensland. It is the largest coral reef system in the world, stretching more than 2,300 kilometers. It is home to thousands of species of coral, fish, sea turtles, dolphins, and many other marine creatures. The reef is a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a paradise for divers. However, it is currently facing serious threats from climate change and coral bleaching. Moving inland, we reach the legendary outback. This vast interior region is mostly desert and semi-desert, covering nearly 70% of Australia's land area. The landscape is dominated by red earth, drought-resistant shrubs, dry salt lakes, and endless blue skies. It is harsh and remote but also strangely beautiful. The most famous symbol here is Uluru, also known as Ayers Rock, a gigantic red sandstone monolith rising dramatically from the flat desert plains. Uluru holds deep spiritual significance for Indigenous Australians and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site for both its natural and cultural importance. The rock changes color dramatically at sunrise and sunset, creating unforgettable scenery. Australia's nature is not only deserts. In the north, there are ancient tropical rainforests such as those in Queensland, among the oldest rainforests on Earth. In the southeast and southwest, vast eucalyptus forests provide a home for adorable koalas. With a coastline of nearly 36,000 kilometers, Australia also boasts countless stunning beaches with soft white sand and clear blue water. The country's wildlife is especially unique. Around 80% of Australia's mammals, reptiles, and amphibians, and over 90% of flowering plants, are found nowhere else in the world. Famous animals include marsupials such as kangaroos, wallabies, koalas, wombats, and the Tasmanian devil. Their young are born very small and continue developing inside a pouch. Even stranger are monotremes like the platypus and echidna. These animals lay eggs like reptiles but have fur and produce milk like mammals. Australia is also known for some dangerous animals, including venomous snakes, spiders, saltwater crocodiles, and box jellyfish. However, deadly encounters are actually rare, especially in urban areas, and Australians are used to living with wildlife safely. Human history in Australia goes back tens of thousands of years. Aboriginal Australians and Torres Strait Islander peoples have lived on this continent for up to 65,000 years, developing rich cultures and deep spiritual connections to the land. Their traditions include rock art, storytelling, ceremonies, music, and dance, forming one of the oldest continuous cultures on Earth. European exploration began in 1606 when Dutch explorer Willem Janssen mapped part of Australia's northern coast. Later, in 1770, British explorer Captain James Cook claimed the eastern coast for Britain and named it New South Wales. In 1788, the first fleet arrived in Sydney carrying prisoners from Britain, establishing the first European colony. Over time, 6 British colonies formed across the continent. In 1901, they united to create the Commonwealth of Australia. Today, Australia is a stable parliamentary democracy with a prosperous economy and high quality of life. Its economy relies on natural resources, agriculture, services, and technology. Australia is one of the world's leading exporters of minerals such as iron ore, coal, and natural gas. Modern Australian society is highly multicultural. More than 1/4 of the population was born overseas, and cities like Sydney and Melbourne are home to people from hundreds of cultures. This diversity is reflected in food, festivals, languages, and daily life. Australians are often known for being friendly, relaxed, and straightforward. Outdoor life is a big part of the culture. People love going to the beach, surfing, camping, hiking, fishing, and especially having barbecues with friends. Sports are also extremely important in Australia. Popular sports include cricket, rugby, and Australian rules football. The country is particularly strong in swimming and surfing and often wins many Olympic medals. Australia is a land full of surprising facts. For example, there are more kangaroos than people, almost 50 million of them. Australia also has more than 750 species of reptiles, more than any other country. The famous dingo fence stretches over 5,600 kilometers, making it one of the longest fences in the world. And here's another interesting fact. Australia has so many beaches that if you visited a new beach every day, it would take about 27 years to see them all. Australia truly is a continent full of giant wonders and unexpected surprises. So what fascinates you the most about Australia? Its strange wildlife, ancient history, friendly people, or beautiful cities? Share your thoughts in the comments below.